In today's video, we're going to be talking about whether or not Google AdWords work for HVAC businesses. Let's jump right into it. This is the question that so many HVAC companies ask, and each one has a varying degree of opinions on whether or not Google AdWords actually work. So I'm going to give you the answer, and as everyone hates to hear, it depends. After managing over $200,000 worth of AdWords for HVAC businesses, I can confidently say that Google AdWords does work. However, there's tons of different reasons that can cause your Google Ads not to work, and quite frankly, it's really easy to waste money and spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars without seeing any results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over 6 things that will make sure that your Google AdWords are working for your HVAC business. Let's start with number 1, and to me, the absolute most important thing that you need to have with your Google AdWords account. This is having proper tracking. Everyone is so focused on getting the ad itself set up that they forget about this major part. And this is not an area that you should be taking lightly or be skipping. Having proper tracking is the ability to know which of your ads are working and which of your ads are not. If you're just paying for clicks and impressions and you don't have proper conversion tracking set up, I can guarantee that you're wasting your money. So why do I take this so seriously? Well, that's because time and time again, I see companies running and their focus is on clicks and impressions, but they have no way of actually seeing whether or not those clicks and impressions are driving real calls or real forms filled out or real customers. So if you're a home service business of any kind, including HVAC, of course, you're going to have 3 major ways that people are going to contact you. That's going to be phone calls, forms on your website if you have web forms set up, as well as texting that you might have set up on your website through a tool like Podium. And that's pretty much it. Now, I understand that they can contact you through Facebook or your Google My Business, but for right now, I'm just going to focus on Google AdWords and your website. Now, what you'll probably find is that most customers are going to call you. For us, I find around 60% of inquiries are through phone calls. Then after that, it's usually a tie between lead forms and text messages. So if majority of your leads are coming from phone calls, this means that you need a call tracking solution. You're going to need to know exactly where this phone call came from. Did it come from your Google My Business listing? Did it come from your SEO or your search engine optimization? Did it come from your Google Ads? If it did come from your Google Ads, which ad actually caused that call? Knowing which ads are generating you real leads in your business within Google AdWords is the only way to know which ads are not working. And of course, being able to turn off the ads that aren't working and better optimize your budget. Now, we're going to jump into what I would say is the second most important part of your Google Ads. And this is going to be your landing pages. So if you don't already have your website structured like this, you're going to need to have a landing page for each service. So if you're doing furnace installations, you should have a specific page for that. Now, when I talk about landing pages, I mean, yourwebsite.com/furnace installation. And then you should have a separate one for furnace repair and a separate one for maintenances and tune-ups. You do not want to send Google Ads to your home page. So if your website isn't set up like this already, I would advise waiting on Google AdWords until you have this set up. Now, you're going to want to make sure that your landing pages are mobile friendly, unless you plan on running ads to only desktop, in which case you're going to miss out on more than 50% of searches since they're done on mobile. You're going to want to have a clear call to action. If someone is on your page because they came from an ad about getting a new air conditioner, they don't care about getting the furnace fixed. They're there to get a new air conditioner. So your call to action or your clear reason for what they want is going to be on getting a new air conditioner. I recommend keeping it simple and concise. Don't confuse your customer by putting links to all of these different parts of your website or all 10 different promotions that you're having. It should be very simple and very easy for them to get exactly what they need. I typically stick to around 4 main focus points for each landing page. Number 1, briefly talk about who you are and your reputation. You want to have some sort of reason why your customer should trust you. Number 2, they obviously know that you sell air conditioners, so you want to highlight the benefit of the air conditioner that you're selling. It could be the benefit of the brand or the warranty, but just some sort of reason why they should use your service. Number 3 is typically, what kind of promotions that you're having, or, what's the reason that they should fill out a form right now versus in 3 weeks from now. This could be something like, 6 months no interest, or get a free filter, or free maintenance, something along these lines, something that gives them that push to make that decision at that moment. Now, number 4 is going to be a clear call to action. They need to know exactly where they should be navigating to in order to fill out a form or to call you. You want to have very clear buttons that either say fill out a form here or get your offer here, or something that leads to your contact page, such as contact us today. So if you follow these 4 pretty simple steps for building your landing pages, you should have a pretty successful foundation to build your Google Ads off of. Let's jump into number 3, and this is my favorite one. It is keyword research. This is where you find these hidden gems of keywords that have lots of search volume, but aren't necessarily competitive and are relatively affordable to bid on within Google AdWords. Now, I can pretty much guarantee that the most searched term in your area is going to be furnace repair plus your city, or, furnace companies or air conditioning companies, or something along those lines, usually 2 or 3 words, and has a lot of search volume. Now, here's a mistake a lot of HVAC companies make when they're starting off on their Google ads, which is targeting these high volume keywords. Now, I'm not saying that these keywords are not good to target, but I would take a wild guess and say that every HVAC company in your city who's bidding on Google Ads is going to be bidding on these keywords. So why does that matter? Why can't you just create a great ad that is better than the rest of theirs? Well, because higher competition is going to create more competitive bidding, which is going to drive the cost per click up on this keyword. This means that, the cost per click on a keyword like furnace repair or furnace repair plus your city could be somewhere around $25 per click or higher. Now, if you have a small Google Ads budget, maybe $100 a day, that means within 4 clicks, you're going to just blow your budget for that day. You're also going to have to wait a lot longer before you actually start seeing real results or people filling out forms or contacting you. Let's say hypothetically that 1 in 10 people who come to your website actually fill out a form. That's a 10% conversion rate. So if you're spending $25 per click and you're getting 10 clicks, then that means that you're going to be spending $250 just to get 1 lead. Now, if you have other ad groups bidding on other keywords at the same time, you're going to be spreading that budget very thin, and it's going to take you a while to really get these results. And this is where it can become very easy to spend $500 or even $1,000 in ad spend without seeing any results at all. So we do our keyword research. You want to find long tail keywords in HVAC that have maybe a little bit lower search volume, but considerably less competition. These keywords, however, are going to still have the ability to convert your audience. You can use a free tool like Google Keyword Planner, or you can use a premium tool like SEMrush to find more in-depth keywords in your area, as well as pretty accurate cost per click projections. You can also use it to see what your competitors are ranking for in Google. That gives you some more ideas on keywords that you can use, as well as you can see what keywords they're using in their PPC campaigns. If you want to use SEMrush, I actually have a 7-day free trial link down in my description that you can check out. If you've never used the Google Keyword Planner or you don't want to use SEMrush, you can also use a tool called Google Search Console. That's completely free to set up, and basically what it tells you is what keywords you're actually ranking for in your website. So it'll be a good way to find really great keywords that you can potentially try using in your PPC campaigns. So let's get back into it. Once you've done your keyword research, you're going to find keywords that have a lower CPC or cost per click. Lower cost per click means that your same budget's going to go further. You're going to get through that testing phase sooner of finding which ads are going to work, and most likely your cost per lead is going to be significantly less. So let's look at that same scenario we just talked about. 1 in 10 people come to your website, convert. 10% conversion rate. Now, instead of spending $25 per click, you're spending $10 per click. That means that you're spending $100 per lead instead of $250 per lead. This means that you're going to get 2.5 times more leads for that same budget. Now that you're spending $100 per lead, that means if you have a $200 or $300 budget, you're actually going to start seeing results a lot sooner, a few days sooner potentially, and you're also going to get a better indicator of how well Google AdWords can work. All right, let's jump into number 4, which is going to be keyword match types, as well as using negative keywords. Now, there's 3 or 4 types of keyword match types, but I won't dive into those. I have a link in the description as well if you want want to check out Google's actual explanation of what the match types are and how they work. But it is really important to use the right match types to improve your quality score. If you haven't heard of quality score, it's basically a score between 1 and 10 that tells you how well your keywords match your ads and how well your ads match your landing page. If you're targeting too broadly, most likely you're going to have a pretty low click-through rate, which is the percentage of people that are clicking on your ad. What's a great thing to do is to check your search terms report within Google AdWords. This is going to tell you what keywords your ads are actually showing for, and you're going to be able to see whether or not you're targeting too broadly or not. If you see keywords there that you don't think that your business should be showing up for, it most likely means that your keyword targeting is too broad and one of your ad groups is gaining impressions on keywords that wouldn't really matter for your business. You also want to make sure that you're using negative keywords. If you're targeting broad match keywords, you're going to want to make sure you have an extensive list of negative keywords. These are basically the keywords that you don't want your business to show up for. Otherwise, your HVAC company that is targeting heating companies as a broad match keyword might actually have the chance at showing up for in-floor heating or garage heaters. And of course, if you don't provide those services, you're going to be wasting your money on Google ads that don't matter. Now, choosing the right match types for your keywords is a pretty in-depth topic, and we'll dive more into that in another video. But keywords are only as good as the campaign that they're in. So number 5 is actually campaign in your ad group structure. Now, this is a big topic, and there's a lot of different strategies that people take for setting up their Google account structure. There isn't really a perfect formula here, but here's some guidelines that can help you out. Number 1 is going to be keeping somewhere between 5 and 20 keywords per ad group. Now, there's hundreds and thousands of keywords out there that you can target, and believe me, your Google Ads dashboard is going to recommend that you use all of them, but you shouldn't. You want to keep your ad groups concise and make sure that all of these keywords within each ad group follow the same theme. This means that you shouldn't have furnaces and duct cleaning in the same ad group. All right, so let's jump into number 6, and one of the most important things, and that's being patient and putting in the time it takes to optimize your Google Ads account. I know it's lame, but it's very true. Your ads are not going to work overnight, and there's not going to be a perfect formula for everyone. Each business is going to be selling a different product to a different market at a different price and having different promotions. Some markets might be looking for air conditioners in April, while others might not even see that until June. You want to take the time to monitor and optimize your ads to make sure that you know which ones are working and which ones are not. What's important is that you don't quit too early. Knowing what your website's conversion rate is going to be a really good indicator of whether or not your ads are going to work. If you have a 10% conversion rate, or 1 in 10 customers, it's a good sign that you're going to need at least 10 clicks on each ad group to know whether or not it's working. If you've had 1 click in 10 different ad groups, that's just not enough data to make an accurate decision. And don't get discouraged by companies who seem to have it down to a science. They've had to go through the same processes and phases in order to produce such great results for their Google Ads account. At the end of it all, patience is going to be one of the most important things, because it's going to determine whether or not Google Ads work for you long term. If you follow all these guidelines and most importantly put in the work, your ads are going to work for your HVAC business. It might just take a little bit longer than you expect. That's it for me today. If you have any questions about the topics that I've covered, feel free to comment them below, and of course subscribe if you want to get more awesome tips like these. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time.